Hey you guys, welcome to the first ever episode of In the Box with Great Big Boar. Today is January 13th, 2011. The honor of having presented the first question ever to be answered in the box goes to Radical Bacon, who asks, "Am I a hot woman even though I look like jailbait to you? A wise man once told me, choose your words very carefully when speaking to a woman with a gun. In fact, it's probably best just to keep your mouth shut and hope for a painless death." So Firefly 4F4 gets the next answer because of the cool Pink Floyd poster in his background. On what TV shows or movies are you basing your moral code? It's been a really long time since I watched a TV show, except that my daughter always wants me to watch these old episodes of a show called Gilmore Girls with her. You know, the morals represented in this TV show are appalling. It's like this unmarried woman who had a baby when she was 16, and they live alone. The girl doesn't have a proper father. The woman is promiscuous. Yeah, it's just a terrible show. The worst part of the whole show is that the mother she's kind of hot, but she's also incredibly annoying. She makes these long, inane speeches to which everyone around her is just required to sit and silently listen. I used to have a girlfriend like that. Run away, run away. Next, we have Pump Stations asking, was God Jewish before Jesus came to Earth? She is of mixed Italian and Jamaican descent, and clearly that's eternally unchanging. I hope she was busy and didn't hear you ask this question. There might be some consequences for that. Pump Stations also asks, what is Satan's last name? Of course, it's Claus. The Felt Be Gone asks, aren't you causing division in FSMdom by having two channels? And are you doing this deliberately in order to make fun of people? That's a really good idea, but it's not for making fun of people. It's for making money. I'll attempt to build a gigantic subscriber base and then start some serious e-begging. I'll insist that if you guys don't send me enough money, I'll drop dead from a case of syphilis. So the next question is from Maisie100. He went over the time limit, so no sock for you, Maisie. Sorry about that. Maisie wants to talk about the weirdness of subatomic particles and how they don't have a definite location until you look at them and that kind of thing. And he quotes this one author saying, observation is vital to existence. Maisie wants to know, before we were here, what was causing the wave functions to collapse. I can't really think of anything funny to say about this, so I'll try to sound smart. This idea that observation is vital to existence is baloney. It assumes, for no good reason, that there's some kind of fundamental difference between a photon striking your retina and setting off a chain of chemical reactions in your brain and a photon colliding with an inanimate object. There is no fundamental difference between those two processes. It's not observation that collapses wave functions, it's interaction. Schrodinger's cat is never really in a superposition of two states. As soon as the wave function of the particle interacts with the wave function of any other particle, the wave function of the entire system collapses. Now, if all of that sounds intelligent and plausible, it's because I've been studying the matter for years and thinking about it, and this is my reasoned conclusion. If it all sounds like BS, it's because I just now made it all up. Jaded Twin gets moved to the top for the inappropriate content. He or she says, God damn it, how fucking old are you? Fuck, shit cock. Also, Star Wars prequels 1 through 3 or the original trilogy 4 through 6? And can you answer more than one fucking question, goddammit? The old man in the mirror claims that he just turned 44. I'm not sure I believe him. I think he's a little nuts. I like Empire best, and A New Hope comes in second. I can't stand Jedi. The whole sappy Ewok party at the end, it just totally ruins the whole thing for me. YouTuber Lols also gets moved up to the top for the inappropriate content. How much wood would a woodchuck have if a woodchuck would fuck Scarlett Johansson? I really misread the question. I thought it was, how much was he going to chuck? And the easy answer to that is absolutely none. I mean, anybody with that privilege would never have time to do anything else. How much wood would a woodchuck have? Oh. Jesus. Okay, I'm going to leave that in there because me looking foolish is, I'm sure it's entertaining at some level. The quiz at Shatterack asks, why did God make us shit? And after I clarified that the word shit here is being used as a verb, not a noun, The answer is because that's really the only way to get some of us to leave our computers sometimes. User Lepthymo says, if the universe is an inevitable consequence of some first principle that we don't know yet, and if this is the only universe, would that make some form of design credible? I find the idea of design compelling. I would not be surprised in the slightest to see a holodeck door open up in front of me, and looking through that door see a team of researchers who are studying me in some way. I wouldn't be surprised a bit. Actually, it would surprise me if it all made sense. If we actually got down to the bottom of everything and it all made sense to us, that would surprise me enormously. Go watch Phil Helene's latest YouTube video, This Remarkable Thing. It's definitely worth watching, especially if you think about there just being one universe. Pretty cool stuff. Lepthymo also asks, how is this whole YouTube thing from your side of things? Is it fun? You know, I could turn this answer into a whole episode. Yeah, it is a lot of fun, but it's a lot more than that too. In the last 6 months or so, I have learned so much about how to interact with people, things that I have never been able to make sense out of in all my however many years I've been around here. That whole argument I had with Thick Shades was an incredible learning experience for me. It taught me a lot about, how my psyche works, what issues I still have from left over from childhood, and it also helped me to clarify my reasons for making videos. So it's been a really a profound experience in addition to being fun. Yeah, I laugh a lot. User Bible Refuter asks, if my child ever asks me what happens after you die, how should I answer? And for that matter, any question that has religion as an answer. A lot of people would tell you to say that no one knows, that some people believe this, others believe that, and that your daughter or son has to make up her own mind. I consider this a totally inappropriate answer. It assumes that there's some reason for anyone to believe in anything supernatural, and there's just no reason for that. Why confuse a kid? Tell her that as far as we know, nothing happens, and as far as we know, being dead is just like not being born yet. You're just not there. For any question that has religion as an answer, I would assert that a religious answer is no answer at all. People have been attempting to answer questions with religion for a really long time, and it's just never benefited anyone. User Schneebel says, what's up with the earrings? And the answer is nothing. I like to feel pretty. He also asks, if you would make up an excuse for God's existence, how would you go about your reasoning? Now, I'll assume that you mean Yahweh when you say God. The primary excuse for Yahweh's existence is that people are easily made to feel shame and guilt, especially about their bodies and the natural functions of their bodies. That is the entire explanation for the existence of Yahweh-based religions. It's about shame and guilt. If we could address shame and guilt, I think religion would just disintegrate. We wouldn't have to do anything to get rid of it. It would just die. User Dana Goldstein says, why is it that Christopher Hitchens is so against sadism when it's so much fun? The reason is because he can never find an S&M outfit that doesn't make his butt look fat. User Philosophication says, do you think it's sexist to put women on a pedestal rather than treating them like equals? And the obvious answer is not if they're packing heat. User 420 Messenger says, why are you a Satanist? And again, there's a simple answer here. Worshipping Baal made my skin break out. What are you going to do? User Even Air, what role do you see sitars playing in the war against God, and who are your favorite sitarists? This is a tough one. I'd say that music leads to dancing, which leads to, of course, all sorts of immoral behavior. If we get people to sin more often, then maybe they'll reject religion. And so, sitars could make a huge contribution. And I really only know of one sitarist, and I'm not even sure it's really a sitar he's playing. That would be George Harrison. And I'm not even sure it was George playing the instrument. It might have been John. And the last question for the day comes from Sean Bon Jovi. My 13-year-old sister asked me, why do people refer to God as a man? It's pretty easy to understand. All you have to do is have her imagine Marge Simpson's reaction to a blood sacrifice. It'll make perfect sense. So I spent hours last night signing all of my old socks, and I have a serious case of writer's cramp now. You guys come on over to my place, and I'll give you your sock. That's the end of episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it.